Let's see what we got. The feds are coming for the Prince family.
For decades, the Prince family has ruled the city of Houston with an iron fist. Ever since J. Prince Sr. used his business instincts developed in the streets to launch the now
Y'all let me know what kind of watch that is. I don't see Rolex on it. I see something else. So
infamous Rap-A-Lot Records in the late 1980s. As J. Prince Sr. grew into one of the most powerful figures in the rap industry, he became known for pioneering a practice known as checking in, which basically means that if you're any way affiliated with any street activities or gangs, as many rappers allegedly are, if you come to the city, you better get in touch with the Prince family and pay your dues. And if you don't do that, you better not think about stepping a toe in Houston.
The first time that I heard the word checking in, it was in relationship to Houston.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the blame for that.
Over the years, numerous stories have surfaced about the Prince family's alleged sinister checking in practices, with Prince even self-admittedly, allegedly pressing none other than Jay-Z for not checking in with him when he came to Houston.
And they convinced somebody from Prague.
I lost $50,000 because I didn't buy a domain name. My advice, head to Wix and
Artie to go directly to Scarface without communicating with me.
Okay, that doesn't happen.
I mean, that's not the proper way. He pursued his situation, right? It didn't go well for him because he didn't do protocol-wise.
Wow.
The Prince family also famously banned 6ix9ine from damn near the whole state of Texas because he refused to check in.
Hey, what's 6ix9ine at? Y'all came to see 6ix9ine, huh? Where you at? Where you at?
But these examples are just the tip of the iceberg. But recently, this practice of checking in has raised a few eyebrows over at the feds. Checking in would actually be one of the very things that another similar...
When you say check in, nigga supposed to check in, come pay you some money from being in your city, or y'all supposed to get some money together, just check in and that is what it is, and no money transfer.
Rap mogul Big U from the Rollin 60 Crips in Los Angeles would eventually go down for in early 2025, as the feds would use his own words about checking in to allege that he was in fact extorting people who had come to LA. But the federal paperwork would also interestingly mention none other than J. Prince Sr., describing him as an FBI Houston Division subject, meaning that he was at the time being actively investigated by the feds in Houston. But this is nothing new, because the feds have seemingly had their eyes on J. Prince Sr. for decades, gathering whatever evidence they could in an attempt to put him behind bars. And this isn't just due to the alleged checking in practices, but also because of serious cases involving far more ominous allegations. According to one story, J. Prince Sr. allegedly sent someone to shoot up the house of a rapper called Big Mike due to a contract issue, with this shooting almost killing him. But Big Mike would strike back, trying to burn down the Rap-A-Lot Records headquarters, a stunt that landed him in prison for years, while J. Prince Sr. skated by without any consequences. And yet, despite all the allegations and controversy surrounding them, J. Prince Sr. and his family have so far managed to avoid any serious consequences of their notorious street reputation. But more recently, the idea of the Prince family being brought down by the feds has begun to feel more real than ever, and allegedly it all traces back to one wild member of the family, J. Prince Jr., one of Senior's 3 sons that include Junior, Jazz Prince, and Baby J. In order to understand where these new claims are coming from, let's start with the most recent incident, one that many now see as the beginning of the end for J. Prince Jr., and if they're not lucky, it will be the downfall of the entire Prince family.
Junior the one who out there causing all these problems.
Reporting and analysis. Some points made in this video are opinion.
Man, if you got something for me, man, I got plenty of around me you could call. Man, it's plenty ways you could get in touch with me. Man, don't get on no internet and do nothing publicly. Don't do nothing dealing with no publicity, none of that. And I'm good on them keys, gangster. When you buy cash, two keys come with the car anyway. Mind your fucking business, man.
The unspoken implication behind this whole ordeal seemed to be that J. Prince Sr. wasn't really trying to help, but really make a power move to show that he was the one who really ruled Houston, and that Youngboy should be grateful for his protection. In the follow-up to that incident, J. Prince Sr. would have some rough words for Youngboy, still pointing out that he was apparently cool with Youngboy's right-hand man, OG3.
You took my kindness for weakness, because you're a dumb boy with limited thinking ability and disrespectful.
Nah, I remember this.
talking slick and acting like you and your brother wasn't down with me, letting it be known you were mob ties connected. But I talked to your brother, and I believe every word he said about you knowing because he's been solid with me. I've known your brother for years and never witnessed no weakness. So OG3, we good. But you seem to be dumber than a box of rocks.
The relationship between Youngboy and J. Prince Sr. would apparently be fixed a few years later, seemingly with the help of yet another infamous hip-hop mogul, Birdman. But as OG3 himself explained in a recent interview, he had been cool with Sr. for a long time, even before that incident, and he had since become particularly close with J. Prince Jr. This would explain why J. Prince Jr. was out that night, celebrating OG3's birthday, with the entire 4K Trey crew with him.
How did you smooth over that J. Prince situation? Like what? How did you? Like, I was like, this. He really went and smoothed that over.
I mean, the J. Prince situation. I'm being honest. Like, man, they really, like, on my side, like, just on a personal note, that's really family. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. The daddy and the son. You get what I'm saying? And I got closer to Junior through the daddy, so it's like. Me and Junior really like this now, and I was really with his dad at first. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
However, the birthday celebration would soon descend into chaos as a scuffle broke out between members of 4K Trey alongside J. Prince Jr. and a Detroit rapper known as All Star JR, real name Jeremy Ford. His child's mother would reportedly be dating J. Prince Jr., this likely causing tension between the two, especially considering the embarrassing videos that were floating around showing them both together.
Hey man, he a cheater, y'all.
Oh, that's mob.
She made it.
Oh, hey, you are.
She made it.
Trust the process.
Say, man, I'm glad you left her alone. I'm glad y'all had differences because I'm the difference now.
With all of this possibly being the exact motive for the attack. But whatever the ultimate reason, the 4K Trey goons decided to attack All Star JR inside the restaurant without warning. What followed was a ruthless beatdown where they were putting both hands and feet on JR while stealing his jewelry. However, things would take a complete 180 turn when JR would suddenly get his hands on a gun, apparently dropped by one of the attackers, opening fire with tragic consequences. This left two members of 4K Trey, Ben 10 and Dead End Ron, severely injured with life-changing injuries. Ron had to have one of his fingers amputated, while Ben 10 currently remains paralyzed from the waist down. Still, many were left confused when the first and so far only arrest in the case turned out to not be any of the people who allegedly started the altercation or robbery, but the shooter All Star JR himself, who many believe had acted in self-defense. However, the logic behind the arrest would seem more understandable when reading the truly gruesome events described in his criminal complaint. A security camera at the venue would capture JR not just defending himself, but also allegedly chasing his attackers afterwards while firing wildly in their direction. And most brutally, JR returned to Ben 10, who was lying motionless on the floor, and stood over him firing additional shots, with one of these possibly being the one that caused his paralyzation.
JR would then... I'm like, but ain't Ben 10 what Youngboy now? So the nigga started shooting and Ben 10 got hit.
Walk away before soon returning and returned to Ben 10, who was afterwards while firing. Capture JR not just defending himself, but also allegedly chasing his attackers afterwards while firing wildly in their direction. And most brutally, JR returned to Ben 10, who was lying motionless on the floor, and stood over him firing additional shots, with one of these possibly being the one that caused his paralyzation. JR would then walk away before soon returning and
I thought I heard that was fake and he not paralyzed. I thought he was moving and everything.
Shooting more shots in Ben 10's direction, and eventually the only thing that seemingly stopped him from executing Ben would be the gun running out of bullets. And even that didn't stop him, because then he apparently went on to pistol whip Ben 10 with the empty gun and spit in his face. He would eventually flee the scene before the police arrived, but based on the brutality of these...
To me, that's the worst thing that could happen to a nigga. What's that could happen to me is motherfucking nigga spitting in my face. Boy, I gotta kill you after that, I ain't lying.
Acts, many would likely argue that he deserved to be arrested for overkill or using excessive force. But interestingly, that's not what he was charged with at all. Instead, the only charge brought against All Star JR was a charge of unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. And this charge didn't come from the Houston police, but the feds. But in order to charge him federally, the feds had to prove particularly one key detail, that the weapon at some point had crossed state lines. So following JR's arrest, many believe that's exactly what had happened, that he had taken the gun with him and fled back to his hometown of Detroit.
You can take somebody's gun and use it against them for self-defense, for sure, that sounds like self-defense, but as soon as you stand over him when it's not an immediate threat, now we have a problem. Here's the other problem. I was talking to somebody who seems like they're sort of close to this kid.
Wasn't neutralized. I don't know what could have happened. I gotta make sure it's neutralized.
They think it's a possibility that...
What the fuck is on his face, nigga? Is this your girl from The Simpsons? Is this Lisa Simpson right here? Or am I tripping? It look like Lisa Simpson right here on Adam's face.
He left the scene of the crime with the gun and potentially crossed state lines with it in his car.
But in reality, JR hadn't even taken the gun with him. He actually hid it under a bar counter at the venue before fleeing, and the real reasoning for the feds to charge him was simply the fact that the gun model JR ended up using that night was a Glock 43X, which is manufactured outside of Texas, therefore fulfilling the requirement of interstate commerce. Now, while that technicality makes it a federal case, something about it just feels off. It's a surprisingly flimsy and thin reason for federal agents to suddenly get involved, and according to some rumors, JR's arrest is only a small part of a much bigger play by the feds, which might really be targeting none other than J. Prince Jr. But to understand why the feds might have been targeting him specifically, we have to go back a few years and look at a pattern that's now becoming hard to ignore, because this was far from the first violent incident involving J. Prince Jr. In fact, in recent years, wherever he seems to go, someone eventually ends up dead.
The takeoff shit. What's your boy shit before?
J. Prince Jr., much like his father and his brothers, has been for years tied in with the Prince family businesses, which could include anything from boxing promotions to running a 1,200-acre ranch, and of course the music business. It could include anything from boxing promotions to running
looking like academics in that bitch.
a 1,200-acre ranch, and of course the music business. That's what they're most known for and where they've been able to stay relevant for decades. But J. Prince Jr. also has his own brand, which is also a record label and the crew that he rolls with called Mob Ties. Sounds an awful lot like a gang to me.
When did you start the Mob Ties brand name?
Fuck a nigga
Tom
like
Ogle
Prince,
drove 200 miles on only 2 gallons of gasoline.
Royal 22, you go do No Jumper. This shit ain't popping like that. You would have done better going do anybody else but them.
Man, Mob Ties derives from Young Mafia. I started Young Mafia. We used to call it Young Mob. I started Young Mob, me and a couple of homies. We started Young Mob probably early high school, like my 10th grade year. We started an entity where I brought all the different sides of town together and made one collective group.
It's crazy. The same type of shit I did my 10th grade year when I started my shit.
For us to get money.
But apparently in recent years, Mob Ties has really become an essential rebrand of the Rap-A-Lot label, with Drake, who was actually discovered by J. Prince Sr.'s son, Jazz Prince, even dedicating an entire track called Mob Ties to the crew on his 2018 album Scorpion, a song where he raps like a real mob boss about how he gets rid of his enemies before shouting out mob ties and painting them as something.
I believe all this shit gonna come back to hunt Drake in the future for sure. All this gangster talk and mob ties and got his enemies dead and all that shit gonna come hunt him.
Much more serious and dangerous than just a brand or a record label. In many ways, J. Prince Jr.'s Mob Ties has carried the same infamous reputation that J. Prince Sr. built with Rap-A-Lot Records. But in recent years, that reputation has taken on a far darker image, as people connected to Mob Ties have increasingly begun to turn up dead. In September 2022, an up-and-coming jewelry dealer from Chicago called Duke the Jeweler would join J. Prince Jr.'s crew to spend the Labor Day weekend in Houston, where in attendance were also other major figures from the rap game, including Boosie. The party also included some gambling, as Duke himself would post a video of them playing on social media, this including also J. Prince Jr., who was standing right next to Duke. But behind this seemingly harmless dice game, there was apparently something much more sinister going on, and according to later claims by Wack 100, who has become one of the loudest voices speaking out against the Prince family, J. Prince Jr. has allegedly been running a rigged dice game scheme for years, together with 3 other accomplices, one of these being called Lil Cam, whose name will later become central to this story.
He got 3 right? Who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. The tell me it's a named Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotator.
However, during the dice game with Duke the Jeweler, things would go all the way wrong, as it was Duke who was allegedly handed the loaded dice by accident, causing him to go on a winning streak. And according to Wack, he walked away with up to $200,000.
There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler around and got past the dice on accident and was hitting on them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story.
Now this would have understandably left J. Prince Jr. and his Mob Ties crew fuming.
He said the jeweler got past the dice. He didn't even know the motherfucker loaded. He just think he hitting. He's as mad as a mother because they like, How you pass?
And how, like, when loaded dice, like, what, it got the same amount of, like, same numbers on that bitch, or when you roll it, it flip back over and it hit the number, like, how that shit work? I'm gonna have to look that up.
That's this loaded dice on us.
The very next day, on September the 4th, Boosie, one of the figures present at the previous night's dice game gathering, was scheduled to perform at Houston's Arena Theater alongside Plies and Lil Keke. Duke would also attend the concert, where he would seemingly arrive wearing 3 huge chains worth allegedly up to $1 million. Around 11:30 p.m., Duke would leave the concert walking to his car located in the arena parking lot. But just as Duke reached his vehicle, 2 gunmen jumped out of a GMC truck, rushing towards him and opening fire, shooting him repeatedly in what appeared to be a deliberate attempt to make sure that he was dead. The shooters would then jump back into their truck, which was driven by...
So they didn't rob him, they didn't try to take the jewelry or none of that shit, they just wanted to kill him from taking their money? That's crazy. Like, if a nigga take your money and you kill him, you at least take your money back. Because if not, you could have let him go on by the business.
...by a third accomplice and flee the scene. And while Duke was soon found by security guards, eventually he would be declared dead at that scene.
Now to a developing story. An investigation is underway after a deadly shooting at a rap concert in Southwest Houston.
The shooting happened last night at the Arena Theater along the Southwest Freeway in Fondren.
Police believe the 29-year-old victim attended the concert here at Arena Theater last night. Police currently searching for 3 people, 2 possible shooters and a driver.
As police noted soon after the shooting, there were no reports of any altercation beforehand, suggesting that the attack had likely been planned in advance.
At this time, we do have several witnesses, but it doesn't sound like there was an altercation. I don't know what the motive is for this, but there wasn't a fight or anything going on at the time, from my understanding.
Authorities also gave no indication that anything had been stolen from Duke after the murder, even though he had allegedly been wearing his expensive jewelry. However, Duke had also posted a photo on social media earlier that day showing himself with several bags, one of these possibly containing cash that he had won during that dice game, which he may well have still been carrying at the time of his death. But whatever the truth may be, rumors about possible suspects began spreading almost immediately afterwards, and surprisingly, many people started pointing fingers at Boosie, and especially his cousin, who some believed had been one of the shooters, as he had earlier posted videos of himself driving a GMC truck on social media, and even allegedly posting himself driving one the very following day after Duke's murder while leaving Houston heading to Atlanta. These claims would make Boosie lash out on social media, saying how he had just met Duke the previous day at the gambling party and that his cousin had nothing to do with it.
Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up, man. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We getting money. That ain't our stilo. As a boss, I ain't letting that go down like that, man. This dude finna make me a piece. So y'all need to kill that. That's bad low, man.
Yeah, I thought
don't put us in nothing with no bad low.
Even though his name says
Duke bad low, man.
I always thought he was like a rapper or something.
Bad low, man. Straight up, this bad low. Kill it.
About a week later, Boosie would do an interview with DJ Vlad, where he would further address the events leading to Duke's death, making some controversial claims, like denying that Duke had been on a winning streak, and instead claiming that he had been losing money like everyone else there.
Dude was gambling, they trying to make false reps like the dude beat somebody out some money, but the dude actually lost his money, bro. Ain't nobody really win, you know what I'm saying?
I can believe that, cause like,
dude lost his money.
Nigga ain't take his change, nigga ain't rob him, nigga just killed him. It must was some like disrespect or something that went on.
Boosie would also claim that it was Duke who had reached out to him about the concert and asked if he could follow him there. But what he didn't explain was why Duke somehow ended up parking in the regular parking lot while Boosie and the others parked in the VIP area inside the arena.
So the next day, dude hit my partner like, man, y'all got the concert. Let us trail y'all, woo-de-woo. So dude went with us to the concert. And after I come off stage, everybody leaving, you know, we parked under the parking lot, under the arena where the celebrities parking and all that shit. He was in another car. He walked to his car. His car was outside the arena under where we was. It was on side the parking lot, so he had to walk to his car. And that's where the incident took place with somebody, you know, tried to get him or whatever. But Vlad, bro, if anybody know me, bro.
First, Quavo, Takeoff, and the Mob Ties entourage were attending a private event.
Yeah, the Quavo shit.
But what would cause the most controversy in the aftermath of the shooting was a video showing J. Prince Jr. just casually trial, which is set to begin in November. And this wouldn't be just any legal team, as one of the lawyers is Kent Schaefer, who just so happens to be J. Prince Sr.'s former lawyer, who represented him in the late 2000s when Sr. was accused of an actual criminal case by a studio owner, Ronnie Bookman, who claimed that he was set up for a beatdown by a crew of Prince's goons after he refused to comply with Sr.'s business proposals. He was beaten senseless. The case was looking bad for J. Prince Sr., as his charges would be upgraded from misdemeanor assault to felonious aggravated assault, carrying up to 10 years in prison. However, the charges against him would ultimately be dropped after Bookman's deposition in a civil case against J. Prince Sr. revealed that he had committed numerous violations of both state and federal law, with Sr.'s lawyer Schaefer at the time commenting to local.
Done saying? They playing in our face, bruh. Now, I ain't saying J. Prince got anything to do with this, but if y'all recall years on before,
both state and federal law, with Sr.'s lawyer.
Do you have a side income? No. Do you have a side income?
Actually, yeah, I have an online store.
Schaefer at the time commenting to local news how the case had simply been Bookman's attempts to enrich himself at the expense of J. Prince Sr. Unsurprisingly, these moves by DJ Pat, including posting the large bond and hiring a high-profile legal team connected to the Prince family, have led many to speculate that Mob Ties and Rap-A-Lot Records may be bankrolling his legal team, and one of the biggest people pushing this theory is friend of the channel, YouTuber Seti Nash.
We have a dilemma. We have a crazy dilemma. We have a dilemma to remember, because how is it that you couldn't make bond before? You had a benefactor, a rich uncle, like they say, right? They say you got a rich uncle. All right, cool. Right. Something hard to believe about that. But on the papers, it does show. So even though I find it hard to believe, it don't matter what I believe. What the paperwork says, it says, hey, this man right here who ain't J. Prince paid for it. But y'all know how Seti Nash do, the hood lawyer for a reason. J. Prince used this lawyer before as well. This case was about Ronnie Bookman trying to use the criminal justice system to enrich himself at the expense of James Prince. And his plan was exposed, revealed, and rejected. Prince's attorney, Kent Schaefer, said, ain't that the name we just got done saying? They playing in our face, bruh. Now, I ain't saying J. Prince got anything to do with this, but if y'all recall years on before, the no order contact that had existed, remember, they had the whole entire Prince family. But after a little while meaning in the same damn week, we actually find out that no contact order with the Prince family had actually been released. So he could talk to the Prince family all damn day.
But meanwhile, back on the 11th of November, Takeoff's public funeral was held in Atlanta's State Farm Arena with a capacity of 20,000 people. While the stage was shared by some of the biggest artists of our time, from Justin Bieber to Drake, we would also see both of the remaining Migos, Quavo and Offset, coming together despite their very public feud that had begun earlier that year. That very same day, the Prince family would organize their own memorial for Takeoff outside the bowling alley where he'd been killed. However, this move would end up causing a major backlash, as many fans would see it as disingenuous and in bad taste to put it up on the very same day of Takeoff's funeral, while others pointed out how strange it was just how big the Prince family's names were on the memorial, using large floral letters to spell out their own family name, while the R.I.P. Takeoff appeared much smaller, like an afterthought, just tucked in behind the arrangement in smaller text. So this mural was really all about.
At first, I was about to take their side. I'm like, I mean, it's the day of the funeral. Y'all ain't probably go to the funeral, so y'all gonna post y'all stuff, but they had a Prince family that big and roses, and then have Takeoff, rest in peace, way a little small in the corner at the bottom.
A few months after this, J. Prince Sr., as well as Jr. and Mike Prince, would appear.
I was just looking at that other picture where they just had J. Prince on the side. Like, you could tell he was younger, but he looked way more older. And now as he got older, he trying to look younger with all this and all. And like, it's just crazy.
On the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast to give their side of the story, Mike Prince would begin by addressing his interaction with Quavo before the shooting, denying that the altercation had anything to do with the dice game.
You know, me saying I'm de-escalating, I'm basically just telling nephew, like, hey, it ain't worth talking about. He's like, man, you want to talk about basketball? It ain't. Leave it alone. Stop talking about it. Period. Like, stop talking about basketball. You don't talk about basketball. Stop. It wasn't about no dice game. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about no gambling. It wasn't about none of the things that the media and all these, you know, we call the media is trying to capitalize.
Bathroom so he could wash Takeoff's blood from his hands after trying to help.
That's the crazy thing about the video.
That type of situation or that type of energy to where you would feel like something had escalated to where it was supposed to be a problem.
J. Prince Jr. would also give his side of events regarding the video that showed him walking past Takeoff's lifeless body, with him claiming that he wasn't even present when the shooting happened, and that the short clip only captured him escorting Mike Prince to the bathroom so he could wash Takeoff's blood from his hands after trying to help.
That's the crazy thing about the video, right? Is one scenario is that they see Mike on the ground trying to help Takeoff, but in the video, Mike was right behind me. People didn't peep that. People think that I'm the one who had a voice. I mean, I'm the one who was speaking in the video when I wasn't. If you go back and look at the video, Mike is walking right behind me. They took 3 seconds of a situation where I was caught on video and turned it into what they wanted it to be. But in all actuality, we had been there for a while. Mike was following me so we can go to the restroom so he can wash the blood off his hands, and so he can enlighten me to what transpired.
But the most outspoken responses in the interview actually came from J. Prince Sr., who strongly pushed back against claims that he had been connected to the culture of checking in.
Is there supposed to be a certain protocol for people to check in? No, and I'll begin with me, and then he can speak, and they can speak for the other generation. But I'm a never, you know what I mean? We don't.
Never. You'd already admitted it on earlier in the video when he was like, yeah, I gotta be to blame for that, and whoop the whoop about the checking that shit, and
have time for no sucker like that. You know, now a lot of people from the different police departments and all these different people want to insinuate like we extorting people. They have to check in, and that ain't no money in that. I wouldn't have. I got more money than I could spend.
And from here, Senior would go on attack mode, seemingly accusing one of the members of the Migos crew.
He down bad for this outfit right here. This right here look like your auntie robe. I think I had an auntie who had this robe. This is crazy. This diabolical right here.
Called Migo Bands for allegedly starting the shooting by attacking somebody from the Mob Ties crew during the argument and striking them with a pistol, with one video posted online allegedly showing him being one of several people holding a gun right before the shooting begun. Senior would also allude to Migo Bands lying in his testimony that he had given to the police after the shooting.
He's given all kinds of statements on this police report we have, so we can read his name and everything, because he put himself in a position where he's cooperating and telling a lot of different lies, so we may as well shine the light on the real root to the issue, which is this homie, you know what I mean, in this paperwork.
The paperwork Senior was referring to included claims from Migo Band's real name Willie Bland that he had seen Lil Cam and another member of the Mob Ties crew carrying guns throughout the night. He would also claim that once the argument escalated, he allegedly saw Lil Cam say something before beginning to pull out his gun, which is why he decided to strike first. And while Senior accused him of lying, it appears that at least the officer who interviewed Migo Bands found his account credible, writing that the video evidence supported his statement regarding the actions before, during, and after the shooting. But J. Prince's attacks wouldn't end there, and he would eventually go against the third member of the Migos, Offset, as there had apparently been some beef between them behind the scenes.
To the homie Quavo, ain't nothing changed where my love is concerned, where Quavo is concerned. So, you know, there's gonna come a day, there's gonna come a time that everything we saying, Quavo.
Did they ever sit, like, they ever got cool? Like, Quavo, he ever made up with them? They got any pictures, been seen with them, anything since Takeoff that? If y'all know,
put in the comments. Opportunity to bear witness that this is the truth. But it's Offset dude. I ain't gonna leave him out. You know, I'm just real like this, you know, because
I'm just real like this.
You know, be throwing rocks and hiding their hand, right? They be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. And I don't like them kind of individuals. You know, and the truth of the matter is, you know, one can dance and different things in front of these different cameras and all that kind of. And when reality, the truth of the matter is, you know, you wasn't really right there with Takeoff when he was alive. You know what I mean? So for you to be taking these positions that you taking.
I mean, it's still a nigga brother.
You know what I mean?
You know
And I got people everywhere, so I hear all kinds of things.
I wasn't there that day when he died, but that's still my man. I mean, and it wasn't on good terms eye to eye, but nigga, that's still my brother.
Don't never put me in no position where, you know, I have to defend myself. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be healthy for you.
Offset would respond to the dissing soon after, clearly upset.
Yeah, I remember all that. This ain't nothing new. I'm thinking they saying like something had just happened and that's why the feds was coming for J. Prince Jr.
From a source directly out of Houston. According to Wack's source, the man who had been killed was allegedly J. Prince Jr.'s bodyguard, known as Mikey Mike, who was reportedly shot following an argument that Jr. himself had started.
About a week or two, he starts arguing.
All right, watch this. Hear that? That's my wallet. So this is what most wallets still look like. Thick,
I like these.
Overstuffed, bulky. This holds up to 12 cards. Right, it's RFID.
You want me to put my money in a little clip on the outside of the wallet? No, I need my money in the inside of the wallet.
Club.
They got all this ring for credit card. Nigga don't got that many fucking cards. They don't need all
trying to debo some girls.
J. Prince Jr.
Yeah, Jr.
Wack 100, he's still on No Jumper, or cause I thought him and Adam got into it. So is he still there, or this old? Well, I know it's old, but is he still with No Jumper?
So he starts an argument trying to take some from some dudes.
Just like Debo on him, you know, dude be taking and he aggressive with the women.
Well, don't say taking.
Got cases, bro. He got cases.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, seal files, all kind of. I got the lady in Atlanta. He got the last one. She phone come on Clubhouse. I've spent some money and contacted her, but nevertheless, his security, Mikey Mike, right?
Okay.
So J. Prince Jr. puts this dude in a situation. He on some bull. Don't need to be happening. Next thing you know, boom, hit him in the face. Shoot him, right?
They shot him?
Yeah.
They shot the guy that they were trying to take the girls from?
No, they shot the security with J. Prince Jr.
Oh.
So instead of J. Prince Jr. going up here and handle his business, right, he get into all this. Now, he ain't the one shot him. He ain't want his man shot. But because of his dumb actions, right, he get his man hit.
Wack also claimed that after watching his bodyguard shot, Jr. left him at the scene, much like he allegedly did in the Takeoff case, apparently trying to flee to another venue.
He tracks out, runs to a club like 29 or something. They won't let him in because the last time it happened with Takeoff, he ran over there and damn near got the club indicted. They're like, you can't come in here, we already got the call.
Wow.
So he go hides out, leave his man over there. Man could have been alive, but he don't, he tracks out to Atlanta, right?
According to Wack, the Prince family also refused to contribute towards the funeral expenses.
But this is what's ugly. I get the call an hour ago saying, Wack, they ain't contributing to the dude's funeral. They said,
I mean, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that part.
Obituary and everything, right?
Interestingly, only a few weeks later, the feds would start doing several sweeps in Houston. One of these operations reportedly targeted an alleged gang that was based around the Prince family's longtime stronghold in Houston's 5th Ward. This gang was accused of robbing more than 20 pharmacies across Arkansas, targeting some of the street's most sought-after drugs before funneling the stolen supply back to Houston for distribution. But the location of the gang in the 5th Ward wasn't the only tie to the Prince family.
He just got roped into this shit. He looked like he I don't know, but he be them niggas. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he looked like his cousins and them was with the shit, so he just rode along with his cousin them. Nigga, whole body different colors. What the fuck? Well, nah, fuck. This is the dark skin of a face of a nigga who been outside every day. Cause this is real color, but this I'm outside in that sun face.
The 24 people arrested turned out to be a familiar face, Lil Cam, aka Cameron Joshua. And the connections didn't stop there, as once again, Wack 100 came forward with another claim, this time alleging that J. Prince Jr. might have had prior knowledge of the Fed's operation before it even begun.
But 4 days ago, I get a call from this chick. She say, Wack, get off J. Prince Jr. I said, what you mean? Get off on him? What you mean? Leave him alone. I was with him. I've been with him for a few years. He got a call. He stepped out on the balcony. I hear him saying, okay, what, 80 to 100? Okay, I'm out the way. He hangs up, calls somebody else and say, hey, get from over there, stay from over there. Then, they say they better come through. They talking about 80 to 100. So I tell the chick, he probably doing some dirty talking on the phone about some marijuana, some dumb. right? I'm on Clubhouse telling my Houston boys, yo, boom, 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 this same story. They waved me down. They say, yo, Wack, the feds just did a sweep and picked up 100 yesterday.
80 to
100 pounds.
100 people.
According to Wack, this could indicate that Junior was in fact working with the feds.
So I'm sitting back and I'm watching the show and I'm wondering, it's a lot going on down there in Houston. The club scene's been torn apart. That situation is what it is. And I'm asking myself, he's tied to Finesse 2 times, a known rat, right? We provide the paperwork. And I'm asking myself, is this what the new gangster is?
So you're saying that you think that J. Prince Jr. was on the phone directing the feds to arrest 100?
Bro, ain't no way a female gonna call and tell me that 4 days ago, warning me, leave him alone. This dude is having weird conversations. I didn't think nothing of it. I was thinking just regulars on the phone. And then just today, I'm on the Clubhouse flow telling the story. They said, yo, they just came yesterday and picked up 100 people.
100 people where?
Feds in Houston.
These wild claims and rumors around J. Prince Jr. have continued even during the most recent incident between him, 4K Trey, and All-Star JR. Notably, in the criminal complaint against JR, the feds failed to mention who actually made the first move and escalated the situation beyond words, despite having a whole bunch of video evidence that showed exactly what went down. That's not unusual though, because as the agent states, complaints do not have to include all the facts known by the feds in relation to the case, only those needed for charging the person in the complaint. So they might have a whole lot of info on what J. Prince Jr. was doing in that incident, but they're choosing not to put it out there. However, if Wack 100 is to be believed once again, the person who made the first move might just have been J. Prince Jr.
Here go the bad part. All 10 proceeded to go into the location. Guess who was the first one approached and snatched the jury?
J. Prince.
So, you're correct.
But if J. Prince Jr. was the one who started the altercation, why has All-Star JR been the only one who was arrested? Well, according to Wack, the reason may be that the feds were never truly interested in All-Star JR himself, but instead, they wanted to put pressure on him to give information about the people who attacked him, specifically J. Prince Jr.
I think they're putting this case on.
This cookie dough parfait is my new favorite high-protein snack.
I'm gonna get the
all
little
thanks to
dog to
Hungry
come
Root.
give y'all
Being
up
healthy
so I can
and
have more, evidence and shit.
On the JR dude, to squeeze him, to make him want to testify against those that attacked him. Because he hasn't given any statements. I don't think they want him. I think they want him to cooperate with them against everybody.
Right.
This same information was also confirmed by a Detroit OG known as Dogface, who said that he had talked directly with All-Star JR on a jail call.
So when you spoke to him, how was his energy? He feel like he might beat that case.
We beating that because it is what it is. Everything is spelled out. They trying to play it like.
But he's not in jail for that. I thought he was in jail for being a felon with the firearm and he didn't get charged with nothing else. Or am I wrong?
Statement. If he make a statement, it's going to trigger a bigger indictment with J. Prince Jr. Not the rest of it.
Meanwhile, according to Wack's source in Houston, J. Prince Jr. would have a secret meeting with his father right after this incident.
Houston back door. 9:36 a.m. I missed this Eastern time. J. Prince Sr. had a meeting with Junior last night at the compound in Fifth World. Went up there at about 7 p.m. Okay, J. Prince Jr. went at 7 p.m. and wasn't seen the rest of the night, and everyone left at 10 p.m.
And during the meeting, Senior would allegedly explode on Junior and make him take down a statement that he had put out on his Instagram soon after the incident, this perhaps implying that he was concerned it would be used by prosecutors later on.
Oh, and when J. Prince Sr. saw that dumb false statement he put up, that put him over the top. They said he was mad as a mother, heated like ever before. He made Junior take that shit down quick yesterday.
But most importantly, Senior would allegedly point to the deaths of Duke the Jeweler, Takeoff, and the bodyguard Mikey Mike as already hanging over their heads, perhaps a suggestion that even Senior felt that at this point the family was doing too much for the feds not to close in. And this is something that Wack would also hint out on Instagram.
My back door told me that a couple days ago when he called. Oh, he was going off on him. Called him tender. He did all this beyond him. We got all this other going on. He said the takeoff, the jeweler, the goddamn bodyguard that found dead in the parking lot. Now you pull this.
In the end, the feds don't move fast, but they do move with precision. They like to build their case over a long period of time, detail by detail, and not rush things until the full scope of the situation comes into focus.
Try to
But
wait
for the
till
Prince
one
family,
more
the
thing
years of
happen.
federal attention
They
might
like
have
something
finally
else
turned
pop
into
up,
something
a shooting,
concrete. There's only
robbery,
so many
anything,
bodies you
then
can
they
leave in
gon-
the street before the feds shut you down.
They
Really,
gonna,
you can
they
only
gonna close in on them, but this ain't telling us nothing we ain't already know. I heard all these stories, seen all this shit already, so I don't know if I'm gonna post this one, but if I do, y'all hit the like button.
Don't do it for the boy, just do it for the boy, just do it for the boy.
Just too good. Oh, it's just too